They say university makes students. Here, students make university. So with the slogan of Think Big, I, Himanshu Kaushik, your host of the day, would like to welcome you all in today's webinar on career opportunities for educators in instructional designing vertical. And I hope that you all are doing good, safe, sound, and happy at wherever you're taking this session from. So today we will be learning all about the education here. And before we learn, I shall introduce you to our expert. We have Dr. Rajiv Chakrabarti, an associate professor from School of Education, a lovely professional university here with us. He already has more than 16 years of experience in the field of education, and he has 70 plus papers in international and national journals of repute. And he will be actually guiding us and navigating us through the process today. And with this, I welcome here Rajiv sir. You're most welcome in the session, and it is a pleasure for us to be able to listen you in the webinar and learn from your experiences. And with this, sir, I hand over screen to you and looking forward for an amazing session.
Thank you, dear. Right. So, guys, basically, we all know that National Education Policy is stressing a lot on the ITP, Integrated Teacher Education Programs. So you will not be expecting the presence of this B.Ed course in the near future. All we'll be having is the integrated programs. I mean, right after 12th, the teacher a student needs to take a call whether he or she wants to join the profession of teaching. I use the word profession because right after 12th in this country, the students decide to be professionals. Say, for example, they want to be engineers, architects, or doctors. The major decision is taken right after 12th. So teaching also as a profession is no different from all these esteemed professions. So the government has taken a good call that right after 12th, the student needs to take a call of whether he or she wants to become a teacher or not. So with that intention, the graduation and the teacher education program of B.Ed are clubbed together, and we have programs like BSc B.Ed and BA B.Ed of 4-year duration. So basically B.Ed is of 4 years, graduation is of 3 years, so 3 + 2 5 years. So if they rather join this integrated program, they save 1 year. So that's the advantage, that's the logic as well behind luring most of the good talents to join this noble profession of teaching. So now after completing this teacher education program, right after 4 years after graduating, as well as becoming a professional teacher, the students in the present day, they not only have the avenues of just being a teacher, but they have multiple roles as well that they can play in the education sector. Education sector is changing very quickly, very fastly. With that, because as we have seen that we also have edtech companies which are coming up, and because an e-content industry, I'll be discussing about the future of the e-content industry in a while. So with this particular very B.Ed degree, the students can do wonders in the edtech companies as well, apart from being the teachers in education schools. So they can be trained graduate teachers, but they can also be academic content writers. They can also be instructional designers. They can also be academic managers, also called academic coordinators, or those who have the intention to serve in very offbeat areas. Teaching the downtrodden of the society, those who have a more empathy and are giving in nature, they can take up this very beautiful thing called teaching fellowship. The teaching fellowship is also one of the important areas that they can join. I will talk about it in a brief as well. Apart from that, we also have something called subject matter expert. They can also be subject matter experts in edtech companies and test developers, those who prepare quality questions for preparing the students for different entrance exams. So out of all these possible avenues which are available for a teacher after completing the teacher education program, the one which has monetarily, if we say, because generally this particular reality is that teaching is not that much giving profession as far as money is concerned. It's not a materialistic profession, and teachers are not given much. And we all know that still in present day, the teachers get peanuts when compared to the rest of the professions. But then if the students want to earn well as well and make use of this particular B.Ed degree, then I think there is the one particular profession which they can take up, which is the profession of instruction designing. It has come of late. I mean, it is picking pace, but its origins somewhere started in India around 2000, year 2000, because right after 2005 or 6, in our country, the hardware and software uh, development started a lot at a quicker pace. We started to get hardwares also at a very cheaper rate, and India made several strides of progress as far as software development is concerned. Internet speed could be made available to every nook and corner of big cities, followed by mid-level cities, and followed by villages as well. So with the advancement of, in short, ICT, information communication technology, which has generally taken a tremendous pace right after 2005, this particular profession of instruction designing also has started to pick up pace. So out of all these possible the avenues that a teacher can take up, monetarily the most rewarding one is that of the instructional designer. So who is an instructional designer? Well, and how you teachers after completing BSc B.Ed or BA B.Ed or B.Ed, any teacher education program per se, can be instructional designers? Well, there's a very little minor difference. The thing is, when you complete this teacher education program, whether it's BA B.Ed or BSc B.Ed or BA B.Ed, you will be made expert of instruction delivery of your own school subject. You will be teachers, specialists in the delivery of instructions, that is teaching. Teaching basically involves delivery of the instruction of your specialized school subject. But instructional designers are those professionals, learning professions from the field of teaching and learning, who plan how to prepare the content which has to be delivered later. So instruction designing is something which is done before instruction delivery. So if through pedagogy, you learn the art of delivering the instruction designing is the field which helps you to plan how to design a particular instruction, so that while delivery, the entire process of teaching learning interaction becomes much more effective. And the rather a very hallmark point regarding instruction designing is that instruction designers generally design content, any content under the sun. Yes. So this is a very beautiful thing, a very powerful thing regarding instruction designing. Those who are instruction designers, they are trained actually to design any content under the sun for any age group learner. From 8 to 80, they should be in a position to teach students from 8 to 80 years old. So any topic under the sun and to any age group people, an instructional designer should be able to teach a particular content. Psychology says that as human beings age, their learning tendency, their inclination towards learning, the means that are to be employed in order to make learners from different age group to learn certain content also changes. Instructional designer is that professional who very successfully can analyze the learning requirements of any learner. Technically, in the field of instruction designing, they are called audiences. So the instruction designer can analyze the needs, the learning needs of any audience, and accordingly design the content or plan the content in such a way that whoever the trainer is, whoever the teacher is, whenever they can use this particular content, they can, while delivering the content, the entire delivery exercise becomes much more effective. So first, what are the different ways that the instruction designer designs this particular content? Everything starts from something called audience analysis. Audience, as I said, the learner in the field of instruction designing is called audience. That is because the learner can be of any age group. So for an instruction designer, the first and foremost thing is to analyze the learning needs of any instructional designers, any audience. What are the learning needs? Now, we all know, being teachers, that the learning needs can be from the cognitive domain, they can be from the affective domain, or they can be from the psychomotor domain. Irrespective of the field, or vertical is nothing but any industry or field. Irrespective of the field, an instructional designer should be able to figure out the learning requirements of that particular audience. That is the very first stage of instruction designing, which is called audience analysis. Yes, the student, the how an instructional designer does so. Well, the instructional designer first of all visits the client's place. Client's place means the place where the audience are. Say, I'll give you a simple example. I'll try to make you understand this particular work pace or the sequence of instruction designer with the help of a simple example. Suppose you're the owner of a restaurant and you have introduced fresh dishes. But the problem is the waiters of your restaurant are not that educated. They are not beyond 12th class people. So because they have not studied beyond 12th class, they are not able to figure out the names of different dishes that you have introduced in your fresh menu in order to give a fresh look or a fresh start to your business. Now, and because of which you're facing losses, your customers, whoever are, they are pretty much disappointed because they order something and the waiter brings something else. So now what you do is you contact an e-learning industry and give them this particular project to train your say waiters on this particular task of memorizing what the particular names of the different dishes are. The head of that particular company calls an instruction designer and assigns this particular task of restaurant menu training to a seasoned instruction designer. The first thing that instruction designer does is comes to this particular restaurant and meets with the head of the owner of that particular restaurant and asks, right after 4 months or 6 months, where do you want your waiters to be? So whatever the owner of this particular company says, that is the exit level behavior that is expected from the audience. The instruction designer, first of all, figures out the exit level behavior. That is the final kind of skills and knowledge that the audience is supposed to have after the completion of that training. Next, he actually meets the chef, because it is the chef who prepares the food and passes on to the waiters, and the waiters goof off. So between the owner of the company and the actual audience lies the subject matter expert, who is the chef. So the instruction designer takes an interview of the chef. He takes into consideration what are the requirements, what are the expectations of the chef also from the waiters. And lastly, he meets the particular waiters to figure out where their knowledge stands as of now. Wherever the knowledge stands now, that is called the entry level behavior. So that exit level behavior, which is expected from the owner, minus the entry level behavior wherever the waiters are, gives the instruction designer the learning objectives or the goals that are to be achieved through this entire training. And this is what is basically the audience analysis. Then again, the instruction designer meets the chef and asks for any raw material or names of the menu or the list of the names which the waiters need to learn whenever the chef or the customer gives any name of any dish. So the chef provides the entire menu to the instruction designer. That which the instruction designer, that menu which the instruction designer receives from the chef, who is the subject matter expert, is called the raw content. And then what the instruction designer does is, based on the understanding level of where the waiters are from the interview, the instruction designer tries to customize the content more. And this is what is basically content analysis. And after audience analysis, instruction designer does content analysis. And then he or she decides where to put an image, where to put a video, where to simply put a text. Because psychology says that in order to make learners from different age group understand content, textual content is just not enough. Different types of media assets are to be used, like along with images, along with graphics, along with simulations, along with beautiful animations, so along with sound effects, beautiful sound effects. So the sounds, those videos, through different organs that we have in our body, the sensory organs, the eyes and the ears, we should be able to teach the learners. The more the sensory organs are involved in the learning process, the better is the learning. And it is the instruction designer who needs to take a call that where to use which kind of asset, depending upon the nature of the content and who the audience is. And then this is where the use of graphics and narrations come. So for the graphics, the instruction designer takes the help of graphic designers, because he or she is not that expert in developing graphics. And then there's something called narration. The narration is done by another expert who is called the voice over artist. The content is made by the instructional designer, given to the voiceover artist. The voiceover artist convert the textual content completely into a kind of voices, audio files, and which are rather again integrated into the content. So this is how slow and steadily, and at the end of the day, we get a kind of product which is called the e-content product. I will show you how a typical e-content product looks like so that you can get an idea of what exactly I'm talking. It is more or less, you can say that a very good analogy that I would like to give is that it's like preparing a movie. And in a movie there are stars, there's a script, and then there are actors who act, and then there is music, and then there are dialogues also. So dialogues have to be integrated, and the actors act. So a script is prepared. So there are a director who is the captain of the ship, and then there are music directors also. There are editors also. There are graphic designers also. So it's pretty much like movie making, and the role of instruction designer is that of a director. So I think in the next slide we have an example of what I'm talking. Yes.
Welcome to the chapter Motion. Let us do a lab activity to find the acceleration and velocity of an object moving on an inclined track. Click each tab to know more. The aim of this activity is to find the acceleration and velocity of an object moving on an inclined track. The materials used in this lab activity are glass marbles, long plastic tube, digital stopwatch, books, steel plate. Two books. Place them on a table. Take a long plastic tube. Cut it in half along the length of the tube. Mark the readings in centimeter along the length of the tube. Now place one end of the tube on the books and the other end on the table to make an inclined track. Now take a steel plate. Place it at the bottom of the track. Take a marble having enough size to travel in the track freely. Now, release the marble freely from a certain distance, 20 centimeters, and start the digital stopwatch simultaneously. Stop the digital stopwatch when sound is produced. Repeat the same experiment for same distance 2 to 3 times. Note the values of times in the observation table. Find the average time and 2s by t square for every trial. Draw the distance versus time graph for all values. In this activity, we observe that for every trial, the average time and the acceleration remains the same. With no change in the inclination, initial velocity, and the distance traveled, there will be no change in the time taken for the travel and the acceleration during the travel.
All right. So this is what I was talking. So as you can see, there were beautiful animations going on along with the voiceover. So this final product is possible. It is basically designed that how the experiment has to be shown one after another in a step-by-step manner. The aim, the observation, the learning, the entire interface is basically designed by the instruction designer, just like a director creates a scene of the movie, just like that. In instruction designer also designs the how the content has to be taught, the interface, and it is made realistic through graphic designer in association with instruction designer. And sometimes the instruction designer need not be the subject matter expert of the content, just like in the movie Interstellar, which was about basically the black holes. The director did take the help of physicists actually to know the physics behind the black hole, and which was presented there, and time travel and all that. So just like that, the content that is developed by the instructional designer can be from a particular field about which the instructional designer himself might not be the expert. So in that case, the he or she is helped by the subject matter experts. So the subject matter expert give the go ahead that yes, the content that is developed is technically correct. And then once the approval is there, the instruction designer might make some mistakes in the grammar as well. So there are language reviewers also in e-content industry who go through the content and check for the whether grammatically the content is typically correct or not. And then the graphic designers come in and create the graphic content, and then the voiceover artists record the voice, and then there are separate experts who are called integrators who patch up the audio and the animations properly, and that is how the final product basically comes out. So it is pretty much like movie making. So those who are very creative rather can definitely take up this particular field of designing the content, and whoever want different challenges, they don't want to have a mundane kind of life in which every day from 9 to 5 they need to do the same work again and again. If they want variety in their particular field and they are ready to work with different kind of people, I will come to the different skill sets that are basically required for an instructional designer to flourish in this field. I'm just showing you some statistics so that I can kind of bring your attention towards how the outlook is rather of instructional designing as a profession in the coming years. You can see that the cumulative average growth rate of this particular profession is 20%. In the coming years, it is going to increase at this particular pace, and the overall market impact of it will be positive. In India, you can expect 100% growth rate for sure in the coming years. So it is a very upcoming field as far as the stats what they are showing rather. See, this is how the graphical representation. This, I think that it is pretty clear that from the past 2 years to coming next 3 to 4 years, how you can see this particular field is going to capture the market share as well of the education market share. And what are the factors that are driving India's e-learning boom? As I said, it all started up from 2005, because India slowly started the cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad and Chennai. They started to make great strides as far as software is concerned, information technology is concerned. And because India became so kind of, we can say, a superpower rather to reckon as far as information technology is concerned, a new sector came parallel to information technology, that is called ITES, which is IT technology, information technology enabled services. So this e-learning industry is ITES. It comes under IT, information technology enabled services sector. So as you can see, the rapid growth in internet connectivity in the emerging economies like India, that is one of the reasons. Improvement in internet speed due to the low cost of 4G data, growth in smartphone penetration even to 2 to 3 tier cities, small cities as well. The penetration of smartphone, online education cost comparatively becoming less in the traditional program. COVID, which is not mentioned here, it was a game changer rather. It just changed it broke the glass ceiling rather. Whoever had, even the Puritanist, or rather you can say those who had conventional thoughts, even today they agree that yes, going forward, we cannot ignore inclusion or amalgamation of education technology into education for sure. So favorable e-learning government policies such as SWAM and Digital India, yes, the central government also is very positive rather, and very upfront, very aggressive rather in promotion of this ITES platform, digital platforms, and promotion of e-content in the country. And then the advent of cloud infrastructure, peer-to-peer problem solving, open content creation, and rapid expansion of the target audience. And in the present era also, we all know that gone are those days when we are supposed to learn for a particular age and then we stop. No, if we have to be relevant in the present world, we have to keep on learning. So lifelong learning is rather, you can say, a culture now. It's a part of life. We have to, every professional, irrespective of whatever profession he or she is, to remain relevant, he or she has to continue learning. How is that possible? No, everybody cannot be in university, so they have to learn this. They have to use these platforms, these open learning platforms. So, and the content basically which is available in this open content are basically in the form of e-content, which is designed by, again, these professionals of instructional designing. So there's huge demands in the coming years for the creation of quality e-content. Okay, so the rising demand among working professionals due to the flexibility of time, as I said. So when the working professionals, in order to remain relevant, they have to learn new stuff, and they will be looking forward to learning them from online content, which is basically again in the form of e-content, and designed by whom? The instruction designers. These are the certain reasons why in the coming years you can expect a huge rise of boom in the e-learning sector. So what are basically the top 10 instructional designers the skill sets, the abilities that instructional designers should have? First and foremost, they should have fantastic communication skills. They should have excellent verbal and as well as written skills for sure. They should have fantastic ICT skills as well, followed by interpersonal skills. They should be a very good people's person. They should be able to interact with different people at a different point of time, and they should not feel hesitant rather to speak to new people or strangers per se, and they should have very good listening skill. I've been in this particular field of instruction designing for 2 years, and before that I was a content writer also. And this is a reality that instruction designers basically is a very big designation. It is generally the starters are not given this particular designation. They are basically told to learn how to come up with fresh textual content. So they are given this designation of instructional writer or content writer. So if a person starts in the e-learning industry or ITES industry with the designation of content writer or instructional designer, definitely it's a plus, because they master this particular this thing of developing fresh content, fresh textual content, which can later be designed using the integration of e-assets or electronic assets, which are in the form of movie clip or sound clips or videos or audios like that, or images like that, which is instruction designing. So instruction designing comes later. Before that, one should be very good instructional writer or content writer. Okay, so as I said, listening skills, research skills, yes, the ability to learn different stuff all by their own. So it means a little bit of self-regulated learning. If you're autonomous learner, if you are very good in learning new things with little direction, little hand holding, that's a great thing. That then you can definitely see yourself as a good instruction designer. Definitely you should be a problem solver. You should not, again, for time and again, look for any kind of assistance from every now and then. Rather, with minimal amount of assistance, you should be in a position to learn different stuff and correctly, because in a corporate setup, every designation person is very busy. So he or she has very little time to give you or make you understand whatever stuff is. And whatever time you get, minimum amount of time, we should be really utilizing it by asking very pertinent questions, especially when you're learning about new stuff and you have 110 questions to ask to the subject matter expert. The subject matter expert, he or she might himself or herself be a professional, so they have their own work to do. So they might be asked to teach you this new content. You should be ready. You should do your homework and be pretty ready to present before them the pertinent questions, so that you can understand the gist of the matter in a very shortest possible time, so that whenever you write the content, it is in the very first go technically given a go ahead by the subject matter experts. So this is one particular ability. Time management skill, definitely, because instructional designers in the initial years will be tested with their time management skill. In a shortest possible time span, are you able to come up with the quality content without making any goof of? This particular ability will definitely be tested. And here I would like to say something that as of now in India, there are very little, very less organizations or institutions which are providing certifications or bona fide way of certifying the instructional designers. The first and very famous well-known institution which has been providing certification in the field of instructional designing for more than a decade now is the Symbiosis Pune. They offer postgraduate diploma in instructional designing. 10 years ago, the cost was 16,000, 18,000. Right now, it is 42,000. It just shows that how much is the demand of instructional designing, that this particular organization has increased its rates in 10 years from 16,000 to 42,000. It's just more than double, rather. So why? Because the field is very much sought after. It's like and when you join any industry, or any corporate rather to become instructional designer, the first thing they ask you is, do you have any certification of instructional designing? And most of the corporates recognize the certification from of postgraduate diploma in instructional designing from Symbiosis Pune, because it is in fact, you can say it has become a benchmark kind of a stint, because it's been in the market for quite a while now, more than a decade. So every corporate knows only about this thing, this particular institution's certification only. But of late, there are certain universities which are, presenting, or rather offering, this new program altogether called MSc e-learning or MA e-learning. And the very first initiative is taken by the SNDT Women's University. This is again in Pune. Their Division of Education Technology is offering MSc e-learning or MA e-learning, a 2 years program. Apart from that, Bhartiyar University is also providing MSc e-learning technology program. And there is the MIT ADT University, which is again in Pune, which is providing again the MA e-learning or MSc e-learning. Now, apart from that, our School of Education, Lovely Bhushan University, also thought of providing MSc e-learning, and is intending of offering MSc e-learning if there are any takers. In fact, we have made a memorandum of understanding with Henry Harvin, a very reputed institution which offers e-learning training to a large number of people. It is pretty much located in Noida, and to have an industry academia interface, to have a beautiful example of how industry and academy can come together and provide the best of the two worlds to the learners. Lovely Bhushan University School of Education signed a memorandum of understanding with Henry Harvin and offered MSc e-learning program. So the courses of that particular program are pretty much such that right after the completion of that particular program, the students are absorbed in e-learning industry as instructional designers. And the half of the content will be taught by the serving current professional instructional designers of Henry Harvin, and half of the content courses will be taught by the professors of School of Education, Lovely Bhushan University. So that was our intention. Apart from that, instructional designing is also introduced as a theory course, a practical course, and a capstone course for B.Ed, BA B.Ed, and BSc B.Ed programs of our school. So theory paper of instructional designing is generally taught the first in the beginning semester, and generally in the second semester, like that, where all the models of instructional designing, the principles of instructional designing, the theories of instructional designing, the different platforms of instructional designing, the standards of instructional designing, and those who are instructional designers need not rather take up a job per se in any institution, e-learning company. They can start their own enterprise rather as freelancers. They can also do that. How to do that? That is also provided. And once they learn the theory, it is backed up by guest lectures. While learning the theory also, in order to give an industry perspective of the theoretical aspects, we conduct guest lectures where, as I said, the working instructional designers, they come in as experts, and they present what exactly is happening in the industry related to that particular content or topic. So in that way, our students, while learning that particular topic, get the theoretical exposure as well as the industry exposure at the same time. And then we have Edu 424, this particular course, which gives our students a hands-on experience on different software tools, or e-authoring tools rather. Technically, it is called e-authoring tools. All instructional designers should be very agile and very ready rather all the time to learn different softwares of e-content authoring. So there are different e-authoring tools that are required: screen capturing tools, audio editing tools, video editing tools, image editing tools. These are different kinds of tools that an instructional designer must learn, and new softwares are coming up every day. So to just give a kickstart, we teach the students a couple of industry specific and very vital fundamental practical e-authoring softwares like Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Premiere under this particular practical course of Edu 424. With this understanding of theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge, the students are supposed to complete a capstone project where they are supposed to design, develop a quality e-content from their particular pedagogy under this program of Edu, under this particular course of Edu 400, which is generally asked to do in their final semester, so that they can show it as their they can show it as their work that they have done, a portfolio rather, to the company where they will be applying as instructional designer. So the companies can also see in the first hand that right before entering the profession, they have come up with a particular content. So what is the rate? What is the quality of the content that is developed? And accordingly, the students will be getting absorbed in their respective companies wherever they make their mark in the interview. Now, as School of Education, apart from providing instructional designing, MSc e-learning, or as instructional designing course in different programs, the different programs that School of Education, by the way, offers is BEd, MEd. We also have integrated BEd, MEd, DSc, integrated BSc, BEd, BA, BEd, and about finally, last but not the least, PhD in the School of in Education, which is offered in both modes, the part-time mode and full-time mode. Now we have approval from NCT, which is our FX body as far as teacher education is concerned in this particular country, and then it is also approved by UGC Grants Commission. In the past years, we feel proud to announce that our students have made their mark as postgraduate teachers and trained graduate teachers, not only in private sector but also in public sector as well. They are pretty much serving as government employees as well. And the beautiful thing is they do come as alumni experts and time to time give guest lectures on different topics. So whatever they are experiencing presently in their profession, they share it with us, with our students who are going to enter into this profession, so that our students who are learning right now can be rather abreast with what is happening in the industry even before they enter into the industry. Our couple of students are also placed internationally and nationally in institutions of repute as assistant professor in the capacity of assistant professor, and some of our students have also made their mark as entrepreneurs as well. They started their own schools, education institutions in the neighboring country of Nepal. Now, our students are also making their mark in the recent years in education companies and the multiple roles as subject matter experts or mathematics educator, science educator, Hindi educator, head of the department in reputed institutions like Vedantu. They are acting as academic consultants in different tech companies, as you can see. So online tutors also, they are working as online tutors also. So in edtech companies also, they are pretty much making their mark. As I said, our School of Education has, as far as instructional designing is concerned, a memorandum of understanding signed with Henry Harbin, where the experts of that particular company come here and take the guest lecture. Apart from that, we also have a memorandum of understanding with the University of Lords, Poland, where we do joint research, and the experts of that particular field, the professors, esteemed professors, faculty members of that particular university also come here and give guest lecture on different vital topics of pedagogy and teaching learning. These are some of the packages in which our students have been placed. By the way, instructional designing, the starting package is 25,000 straight away. And after 3 to 4 years rather of rigorous groundwork, training and exposure, mid-level instructional designer or junior instructional designer can expect anywhere a salary of 50,000 to 60,000 for sure. And after 10 years, they can become consultant, and a package of 1 lakh is assured rather. So this is rather the rate at which the instructional designer can see his or her growth rate in the coming years. As I said, it's highly rewarding as far as monetarily is concerned. And those who are inclined rather to be materialistically earning more, there's nothing wrong in it. Through this BEd degree, they can definitely look forward to this particular profession of instruction designing. These are some of the companies our School of Education generally students get absorbed in these schools, in these institutions. Repeatedly, our students come up with flying colors as far as the required CTET and UGC NET exams are concerned at BEd level and at master's level, bachelor's level and at master's level. In fact, our students, even before coming to the final semesters, in the very penultimate semester itself, they are able to crack these entrance exams of repute and make us proud, make us everybody proud, all of us proud. So, and this has been a regular practice, just because our syllabus is pretty much mapped with the syllabus of these entrance exams. So right from the day one, our students rather are taught to take the pressure of answering these questions which are asked in this entrance exam within the shortest possible time. So by the time they actually go for the entrance exam, it's like a cakewalk for them. And as I said, what are the reasons for getting placed Well, you can see right from the very first semesters, our students are made to go through something called psychometric tests so that we make out where where they stand as far as their mental capabilities are concerned. And accordingly, the TPC, who is the training and placement coordinator, Dr. Satish, and myself, who takes care of the industry interface, we decide which student to be given a priority to go to which particular vertical of teaching and learning. And accordingly, we prepare their resume. Customized resumes are prepared, and every student is given a particular faculty dedicatedly to take care of that particular resume and how he or she is making progress in that particular vertical, so that when the student comes to the final term of that particular program, he or she can get absorbed in that particular placement position. So right from the very beginning, we do our homework in that way. Our students also, by the time they come closer to the completion of the program, feel very much confident, and they are pretty much aware of which role rather they would take up after the completion of the program. So on-job training, yes, convention and video resumes, stress on communication skills, free seated crash course, which is net course. Alumni do come in and give lectures. Industry experts do come in and give lectures. Cohort. This idea of cohort is nothing but depending upon the skill set that we figure out from the psychometric test that the student gives in the beginning of the program, we figure out for which particular role the student is made out. So School of Education provides 3 to 4 cohorts, like trained graduate teacher, postgraduate teacher, content writer, subject matter expert, instructional designer, or test developer. These are some of the cohorts rather, or say specific roles that a particular student can apply for after completion of that particular teacher education program. Now, all the programs that the School of Education offers come with the fee of 30,000 rupees per semester. That is yearly, it is 60,000 rupees. It doesn't matter whether you take a B.Ed, BSc B.Ed, BA B.Ed, or B.Ed M.Ed. The fee structure is the same. However, the duration of the program differs as per as NCT's instructions. The B.Ed course is of 2 years, M.Ed is of 2 years duration, B.Ed M.Ed is of 3 years duration, BSc B.Ed, BA B.Ed is of 4 years duration. PhD is basically directed by UGC, University Grants Commission, New Delhi. Generally, a student is expected to complete the PhD in 3 years straight away from the date of registration. And for that, the beautiful thing regarding Lovely is that Lovely Professional University conducts LPU Nest examination for PhD aspirants, and those who really perform well in this particular written test followed by interview are given scholarship depending upon their performance in the written test and research interview. I'm myself a prime example. I completed my PhD right from the School of Education, Lovely Professional University in 2021. So I'm also an alumni of this very university. So I did appear for this entrance exam, cracked the interview, and I utilized the scholarship for good 3 years. So I can vouch for that, whatever I'm talking. So guys, I think any questions rather, I would expect any questions from your end. And if ever anybody is interested rather to join in this field of instructional designing through these programs that I've discussed, B.Ed, BSc B.Ed, BA B.Ed, you can get in touch with Dr. Gifty Arora, who happens to be our assistant professor and admission and media coordinator. The mobile number is right on the screen, and you can make a note of it. Any questions from the field? I'll be happy to take up. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. First, before I go to the questions, I'd like to say thank you for giving in your time, sir, crediting your time basically for us, for the students, and giving this insightful presentation. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we have a few questions from the registrants. So this one question that I think it's very common also. Just a student wanted to know what are the freelance opportunities if they join the education at such a field I'm talking about. So what could be the freelance opportunities they can have, as you know, like it is a new boom, the freelance thing. So what do you want to say about this?
See, the suggestion is, because having industry experience also from my end, what I would suggest is that one cannot become freelancer straight away, because the potential customers will not give projects to a rookie or a person who is just out of university having learned instructional designing. The idea of the instruction designing industry, how it works, must be there in any freelancer. So a person can think of becoming freelancer only after at least 4 to 5 years of rigorous industry experience, because after joining the field of instruction designing, they need to work hard a lot, get used to this rigorous demanding profession of instructional designing. The deadlines, the industry works on deadlines. So, and there are different softwares, the platforms, and multiple roles. The instructional designer has to work in close, coordination and cooperation with different professionals like subject matter expert, language reviewer, a graphic designer, voiceover artist. Who are the integrators? Who are they? What kind of role they do? The instructional designer is kind of a jack of all trade. He or she might not be an expert of all this particular field. So he or she needs to know how the industry of instructional designing actually works, how it is like to work in a deadline, rather do some projects in different verticals, say nursing, hotel management, armed forces, education, school sector, college sector, like this in different verticals. The instructional designer should design the contents. In that way, the student gets the rookie gets an idea of the field of instructional designing. After that, having developed this strong profile, he or she can definitely think of being a freelancer. And when he or she approaches for any project from any customer, he or she needs to convince that particular customer that he or she knows whatever he or she is talking. So at that time, this resume helps a lot. Yeah.
Right, sir. And sir, I think when somebody has this experience, like you were talking about the rigorous experience of industry, they can also think about being an entrepreneur, like how Byju's is made or how other companies are made. I mean, they can also develop their own thing and hence being an entrepreneur. So
entrepreneur is the next thing after freelancing, after having 10 years of experience. Nobody can think of being an entrepreneur straight away in the field of instructional designing. Huge knowledge of the market, huge knowledge of the field of instructional designing, huge work experience to showcase, huge connections, networks are required to start up an entrepreneurial journey in the field of instructional designing. To start any entrepreneurship, the instructional designer himself can't start up. He or she should know somebody, a colleague who is a voiceover artist, who is a graphic designer, who is a language reviewer. They all should come together, pool in money, and they basically can think of coming up with an enterprise, which is rather a trend in Hyderabad, Pune, Bombay. This is what is happening. Yeah.
Right. And I think networking that you were telling about networking, I think it's very important. I was attending this another session, and there also it was told how networking can play a very huge part in somebody's growth in life. And students, I would just say one thing: you can come in here in LPU, lovely professional university, and can get. I mean, of course, you're gonna get networks here, and you can get the experts here, like Rajiv sir and others, of course, and you can learn different skills and hence excel in the field that you have chosen. So, with this, sir, I would like to take your permission to wrap this session.
Thank you.
And before I wrap this session, I also want to thank attendees for coming in, joining in, and the registrants as well for giving us your questions. And sir, again, thank you so much for the time that you have given here and the experience, sharing your experience basically with us. And at last, I just want to say that this session will be uploaded on YouTube as well. So, and also on site, you can explore the site lpu.in and can attend different webinars that are already enlisted. So, yeah, with this, I take your leave and I'll meet you soon in the next webinar. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.